The Mandalorians were amongst the most lethal warriors in the galaxy. However, by the time the Clone Wars had begun, they'd forsaken their violent ways. But what if they hadn't? What if they still cherished war? For this theory, we're going to say that a few years before the Separatist crisis, the peaceful Mandalorians undergo a societal change, which makes them revere their old ways of war again. A new Mandalore, or leader, is selected, and for the years leading up to the Clone Wars, the Mandalorians grow their military and carry out small raids and skirmishes with neighbouring systems. However, the Republic is blissfully ignorant to the threat gathering around Mandalore due to the secession movement that they're dealing with. Mandalore was technically part of the Republic at this point. However, if its people under a new leader decided to repeat the decisions of their warrior ancestors, then they would be compelled to make war. War on the greatest target in the galaxy, the Republic. Now, realistically, they would not ally with the CIS. Mandalorians didn't really do alliances, instead preferring to conquer and take control. However, we're going to say that the new Mandalore pledges loyalty to Dooku, similarly to how the Mandalore the Indomitable did to Ulic Qel-Droma, likely due to losing a duel with the Sith Lord. So, we're going to say the Mandalorians are loyal to Dooku, and he orders them to join with the CIS during the early days of the Clone Wars. Aside from this, everything is the same. The Mandalorians would set about conquering every non-allied world that they came across. Here they would recruit or enslave all the residents, Mandalorian ranks would swell, and they would spread across the galaxy like a plague, conquering world after world, system after system. It's likely if the Mandalorians were similar to their ancient ancestors, they would conquer worlds far faster than the CIS did in our timeline. I believe the CIS's droid army's main purpose would likely be holding the ground that the Mandalorians had taken, as Mandalore's forces would likely have little interest in maintaining and holding conquered territories. The Mandalorians could even cause problems for the Republic's clone army. They were, after all, clones of a Mandalorian, hence making them de facto Mandalorian. I find it incredibly likely that the Mandalorians would try to play on this, offering defeated clones the opportunity to join them, be amongst their real kin. And you have to admit, it's easy to see how some clones could be tempted to join their ancient ancestors to live and fight freely, as opposed to in a slave army for a republic that cared nothing for them. In my opinion, the main issue of a Mandalorian force constantly growing and making up a huge part of the CIS's army is that they'd possibly be too effective. Sidious's plan was never to have the CIS win the war, just to distract and weaken the Republic whilst empowering himself. However, Mandalorians had little time nor respect for these types of schemes or power plays. To purposely lose a battle could be seen as dishonourable. So I believe this timeline would either end in one of two ways. Either 1, Sidious, angered at the progress, orders Dooku to ditch his Mandalorian allies, likely killing their leader and using the droid army to turn on the Mandalorians when they least expect it, for example when they're encamped. This betrayal would likely end in the same outcome they did in the actual timeline, with Dooku's death and Sidious's rise to Emperor. Or 2, the new Mandalore convinces Dooku that he is superior to Sidious, and that he holds all the cards. It's him who's gained these victories, not Sidious. He has the rich tycoons, the droid armies, and the Mandalorian Crusaders behind him. With this, Dooku decides that the time has come to dethrone his master, and he continues the assault on the Republic, more aggressive than ever, taking Kamino and then Coruscant. As we know, Mandalorians have taken Coruscant before, and they'd do it again. Dooku, combined with his Crusaders and droids, and possibly even the likes of General Grievous and other notable warriors such as Ventress, take over the Senate, force the Jedi to surrender, and kill Sidious. After this, it would just be a case of having the Mandalorians clean up any pro-Republic resistance and holdouts, but the war would be over. The Separatists and their Mandalorian allies would have won. The Mandalorians would continue to serve Dooku and would probably be used as enforcers. Any worlds that even thought of lashing out against the Confederacy would fear the wrath of Mandalorians entering their system. But what do you think? Could this alliance work, and how do you think it would end? Don't forget, this entire week, Monday to Sunday, is Mandalorian week on my channel, with new videos every day on a different subject surrounding the Mandalorians, so don't forget to have the bell tick to stay up to date. Also, please leave a like, sub and share if you did enjoy, as it really helps the channel grow and is greatly appreciated. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at The Lore Guy for regular updates. Thanks for watching, I do hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.